Hey guys, so it is almost the end of this year and it's almost the end of this decade. Can you believe it? I think about where I was coming into this decade, 2009, going into 2010, and I just think about all the different ways my life has changed and drastically gotten better, for which I'm so grateful. But then, we get to the end of this year and we get through the holidays, and congratulations, you have survived the holidays. That's no small task, especially if you had to spend it with family and maybe family that's not so great to you. So congratulations on that. Reward yourself for that. Go have some ice cream or something. But then let's think about what's next, okay? We're about to head into a new year. We're about to head into 2020. Okay, we survived the holidays. Awesome. What's next? This is my favorite time of the year for multiple reasons, but Christmas was always important in our family. It was always really big and really gaudy and, crazy. But I always loved that these 2 weeks, especially with kids and everything, like our schedules are just like not so tightly wound, if that makes sense. And that you just have a lot more freedom in this time. And after Christmas, I used to get really depressed. I'm gonna be real honest. Januaries have always been really hard for me. I always attend a conference in February called World Mandate in Waco. If you look it up, you can find satellite campuses and you can even watch it online. Anyway, but it really motivates me into February, but January was always really hard. So a few years ago, I started doing bullet journals, and everyone's crazy about bullet journals. Like there's a million different ways on Pinterest on how you can do it, and there's no wrong way to do it. You just do it the way that it's easiest for you, because it's supposed to make your life easier, not more complicated. Remember that part. So I started doing bullet journals this time, in this downtime where I'm like, okay, Christmas is over, like, what do I do? Kids are still out. I'm bored to death, And I just didn't have anything to kind of motivate me. I was like, oh, I can start my bullet journal. And so for the past 5 years, I've been doing that. And I will pray through the month of December, and even especially in the last few weeks, for a word that will take me into 2020. Well, a few weeks ago, God gave me the word refining, that 2020 was going to be a refining year for me, which meant in a lot of ways that I would have to put some things down that I'm used to doing. Leading groups at our church. I won't be doing that anymore because this is going to be a refining year for me. The conference that I was going to plan for next year, that's going to be put on the back burner. We don't do that in a year of refining. That's not something you want to be in the middle of refining and then, do a big thing. We can't do that. So that's something that God has said, hey, let's put that on the back burner. I'm going to be more interested and more focused on the one-on-one connections with people. And so that's my 2020 goal, is to be more connected one-on-one with the people that have come into my life, that have looked to me for mentorship, mediation, facilitation, whatever it is. I'm cultivating those relationships and really like plowing the ground with that over this next year, because a refining year is meant to be, for myself, a lot more peaceful and calm, and then stripping away some things and all the bulk and all the extra, and really getting down to that root of what what needs to be down in there, what needs to be, fixed up and better and all that good stuff. So I'm excited. I'm also a little bit terrified, because refining years, I've been through several of those before. Those are rough. I'm not gonna lie. Those are pretty hard. So as I'm looking forward to a new year, I'm also with trepidation heading into the new year and saying, hey, it's going to be great. It's also going to be awful. When I look back at 2019, that's kind of been my overall thought of it, is that it was really bad and really good at the same time. And I'm reading Annie Lamott right now, and she talks about how truth is a paradox, how you know everything, but you know nothing. And it talks about how can just 1 year of your life be just the worst, most, complicated, torturous part of your decade or whatever. But it can also be amazing and wonderful and just the best year ever and the worst year. And it's okay. It can be both. So I think going into 2020, I'm kind of prepared for that. You're never going to have like this really great, spectacular, perfect year. It may be really great and spectacular, but perfect is, put that off the table. So as we head into this new year, and we're in this down season between Christmas and New Year's, I want you to think about, okay, what's next? Pray for your word. Pray over the next couple weeks. And if you don't get it by January 1st, like God's not on a deadline, okay? You'll get it. Like maybe it won't be the word you're thinking of, or even a word you knew existed. For 2019, my word was expectancy. And I didn't even know that was a word. It was just something that I had used or read and I had said out loud. And I was like, oh, I don't know what that is, but that seems like it would be my word. The word for 2018 was renew. I still can't even tell you exactly what happened in 2018 that meant renew, but it was just the word that kind of helped me move forward and make decisions too. So pray for your word. Maybe you don't get a word, maybe you get a scripture, maybe you get a saying, maybe you get a motto. I love having a motto for the year. And I told my little cousin the other day when I was out shoe shopping, my motto is going to be buy the red shoes, because I never buy red shoes, to be honest, but I did. I bought red shoes. I'm going to be more adventurous in my shoe game. I'm going to buy the red shoes, but it's also a motto of like, hey, do that thing that you haven't done yet, that you've always really wanted to do, but you haven't done it yet because you're hesitant, you're scared, and you thought about it 5 times and then you gave up. So buy the red shoes, do the thing, right? A few years ago when I started on this journey of getting back into writing and trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing with my life here? That was my thing for the year. It was, hey, all those things that you talk about doing, all those things that you've always wished you would have done, the book you want to write, the podcast you want to start, the insert here, whatever else I've been doing over the last year, do it now. Like, you're getting old, Wendy. Like, get your crap together, just do it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Nobody watches your video or reads your blogs. At least you're doing it, you know. Some people do, not my mother, but other people do. And it's not, I'm learning too, it's not the amount of people, it's the 1 and 2 people that, you know, come up to you and say, hey, I read this and it really inspired me and spoke to me in just the right moment. I think about Jesus and our ministry that we had, which was called Back for the One. And Matt always used to tell me when we were doing work in anti-trafficking, like, what's going to be enough for your ego? Is going to be 1, 100, or 1,000 that will satisfy this craving in you to do better? Because if our ministry is called Back for the One, then we're just doing this for one person. And are you okay with that? That was always pretty tough to swallow. And I hate when my husband's right about things, but sometimes he is, and you have to give credit where credit's due. So think about that in the next year. What are those things that you're like, you know what I've always wanted to do? I've always wanted to start an online magazine. I've always wanted to have my own CD. Not me, I'm not a good singer. I've always wanted to start my own shoe line. Red shoes. There you go. I've always wanted to combat slavery, combat modern day slavery, work in anti-trafficking. Oh, the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. Okay, do it. I've always wanted to start an organization to help homeless teenagers. I've always wanted to be a foster parent. I've always wanted to go hiking and do, you know, the big trail that woman did with the boots and things. I've always wanted to do that. Cool. Go do that. Do that in 2020. I love that the years can be 2020 because of the saying of hindsight is 2020. So all those things that you're like, oh, I wish I would have done, they should happen this year in 2020 because it's the perfect year for that. So don't go all the way to 2021 or 2022 or 2050 if we make it that far. And say, man, I really wish I would have done this 30, 40, whatever years ago. Because your life is just a passing moment. It is just a breath of air, just a gust in the wind, and then we're gone, man. Like, I'm not trying to get morbid on you, but like, seize the day, okay? Get it done, write it down, put it in your bullet journal. Get a word, a scripture, something, a motto that you can hold on to. Maybe it's a picture. Maybe you just come across this picture and you're like, this picture inspires me. I'm going to put this picture in my bullet journal. So every day when I look at it, look at your bullet journal every day and be inspired and let it carry you through all of next year. So we survived the holidays. we're recapping. We did that. Good. Congratulations. Now what's next? What's next is planning for the new year. Planning for 2020. Make a bullet journal, whatever you want to call it. Make it a journal. Make it a rosy journal. Whatever it is. But put something that you can put together and look at every day and be inspired, that will carry you through and motivate you to be doing the things. Do the next right thing. You don't have to do all the things. Just do the next right thing. So I hope that inspires you and carries you through this after holiday slump. And, I'll be honest, I won't see you guys till next year. I love saying that. That's always my favorite. Be like, see you next year. It's like a day away. We are having a New Year's Eve party at our house. I do have to say, in the last 10 years that me and my husband have been together, we have never done anything on New Year's, ever. Either he's been gone for work or has fallen asleep at 10 o'clock at night. But we have never done anything for New Year's. And I was like, this year we're doing something, okay? Because we're going to bring this year to a close and it's going to be like awesome. So we decided we'll have a New Year's Eve party like with all of our kids and have all of our friends bring their kids. So yeah, that's what we're doing. If you're in the area, call me. We'll be here. You guys have a great rest of your year and I will see you in 2020.